I saw The Trust, and Steve saw Outcast. Not the band. He saw the movie, Outcast, starring Nicolas Cage.
Wait, I did what? Oh, man, I just listened to the concerted works of Benjamin 3000.
Oh.
Andre Benjamin 3000. And Big Boy.
Man. Oh, man.
So,
is his name Benjamin? Where's Benjamin?
When he went to acting, when he was in, what was that movie, Idlewild?
Yeah.
He was
Semi-pro.
Andre Benjamin.
He was Coffee Black and Semi-Pro.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a great name.
It's true. All right, let's see who wins.
Are you ready for Movie Versus? Welcome to Movie Versus, the podcast where we pin two terrible movies in an all-out battle for the best of the worst. Here are your hosts, Tyler Lamb, Charlie Pixley, and Steve Janik. All on Movie Versus!
What's up, world? My name's Tyler Lamb. This is Movie Versus, the podcast in defense of bad movies. I'm joined by my co-host, Steve Janik. Steve, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. Just started school. Very exciting. Very stressful.
Oh, of course. And Charlie Pixley. What's
What
up,
up?
Chuck?
Not much.
Yeah, all right. Well, as stated previously, Steve and I saw the movies, The Trust and Outcast. Nick Cage movies is what we saw.
This is a cage match.
Oh, cage off. Yeah, cage match sounds better, obviously.
Cage off? No, I like that one.
And so I'm just going to hand the reins over here to Chuck. Chuck, take it away.
Okay, so if we're going to really go with the wrestling term, this should be a Royal Cage Rumble instead of a cage match.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
I can roll with it.
So I want to jump right into hearing about these movies because I might see both of them anyway. So I just want to know a little bit more about them. So let's start with you, Tyler.
All right, yeah.
Since you just finished it.
Yeah, I did just finish it, but in my defense, I think that Steve
Steve
did as
too.
well.
It was down to the wire.
This is going to be like the freshest episode.
Yeah, no. Steve did because of just school and everything. And
Yeah, I moved to my dad's, so my Wi-Fi / computer situation is not as consistent yet. So I thought I was gonna have access to it, but the new laptop I just got doesn't have all of the things needed for Netflixing yet.
the
So-
internet.
No, it was missing. It was missing some programs,
Put
but
the
like,
tubes in yet.
but like the Wi-Fi was acting weird.
I gotcha.
So I just I had to come since I was coming back in town for this anyway. I just came in early, watched it at my mom's place, and picked up some clothing that I would need for future.
Dude, I don't
Podcast
know.
episodes?
Yes,
You don't
right.
need to wear clothes here, Steve.
It's
I mean,
good because
Charlie-
I'm not as of right now.
Either way. And then I watched a half hour of this movie a couple days ago, and then was like, I'll just watch the last hour when I get home. And then I forgot. When I got home from work, I forgot that I still had to watch the movie until I kind of laid around for a while, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
until after you had made fun of me for not having watched my
Yes.
movie.
Yes,
Dude, Steve, I don't know why, but when you said my Wi-Fi at first,
my
I
wife,
I thought it was going to go with my Wi-Fi, it's like my waifu.
my wife.
My waifu problem.
So yeah, The Trust. It stars Nick Cage and Elijah Wood. And,
Good start.
Ethan Suplee.
Souffle.
that again? That name sounds
He was in My Name Is Earl.
He was also Willem in Mallrats.
Yeah, and he was in American History X. He was like
big dude?
Yeah,
Yeah,
big dude.
yeah.
Yeah,
He's lost a
gotcha.
lot of weight,
Yeah,
but so basically, this movie is just about Nick Cage and Elijah Wood are they work at the police department. They're like evidence. They work in the evidence department, and they basically are like bored with their job, and they don't really make a bunch of money. And Nick Cage, while working in the evidence like room or whatever, finds this guy's file who is a drug dealer, and he sees that he posted $20,000 bail to get out of jail, but he paid it with cash. And so Nick Cage is like, this dude has to have a shit ton of money somewhere, and so he basically like kind of follows him for a little bit. They figure out his situation. They decide, hey, he keeps all his money in this bank. Well, not a bank, a vault in this area. We're going to go break into it and steal the money. And that's what the movie's about. is the.
I think it would be great if they switched it up already and figured out he paid $20,000 worth of Bitcoin. We gotta get into his virtual bank.
We got to get onto the dark web to do that.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna lure Module a Pokestop near him, and when he leaves,
Beautiful, beautiful. I
we're
mean,
very topical today.
if they would have done the dark web thing, I knew I would have won instantly. So
Yeah, my movie's about the dark web. Steve, go ahead. Steve, go ahead.
So Outcast, my movie is about the dark web. No, of course it's not about the Hayden Christensen and Nicolas Cage are Templar Knights, and they storm.
Is this prequel to Assassin's Creed?
Yes.
Oh, sweet.
and is this how would the movie have been if it was Nicholas Sparks? I'm sorry if that was already one of your questions.
Never in
but-
an acting role before.
It was. It would be exactly identical, only like 4 scenes would have been 20 minutes longer.
Okay.
They would have just stared at each other for that much longer.
Okay,
Yes,
I was
yes.
just like, what the fuck?
no,
Movie
the-
poster, if it was the standard Nicholas Sparks, but it was between Nick Cage and Hayden Christensen, like that would be awesome and worth
Real
buying,
close to
man.
kissing. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they were Templar Knights, and they attack a Muslim palace. And during the course of this Muslim, it's really funny because Hayden Christensen is a zealot. He's just in there, just taking people out. And Nicolas Cage is like, maybe you want to calm down, son. That's
Right,
right.
Nicolas Cage.
Yes, Nicolas Cage was
Tell
the,
someone to calm down.
he was the voice of
been going
reason in
ham.
this film.
Wow.
So they're attacking, and at one point, Nicolas Cage is like going around searching for people, and he comes into this room, and it's just Hayden Christensen in a room with a bunch of dead children and women.
Okay, so this is just
Yeah,
a direct
jeez,
sequel
man.
to Revenge of the
Typecast.
Sith.
Yeah.
Or this happens in between him going to the fire planet.
This is how he
after.
loses his brain.
I gotcha.
So they pretty much, and that's where it cuts there. Like that's just like their fall.
So it's
their
already
downfall.
like the comedy hit of
Yes.
the summer. Okay.
After that, we cut to China, where a dying emperor gives his royal seal to his son, his younger son, and says, I want you to be the emperor.
Yeah, is that a sexual innuendo? Is that?
Oh no, no, I was not. I was just.
He gave him his royal seal.
I was refusing
his
to
son.
acknowledge the eyebrow raising.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
From
Chuck,
both of us.
Chuck, you were the one raising the eyebrow.
I know. I was
What?
looking
Never.
at Charlie, and then I was like done with that. So I turned to Tyler, and then Tyler started up, and I had nowhere to look anymore. Anyway,
Gave the royal seal.
he wants his younger son to be emperor because he is more peaceful, and his older son is a warrior. He's very bloodthirsty, so he thinks he'll be bad for the kingdom. So he gives the royal seal to his younger son and sends him off with his daughter to keep him safe. His younger son comes in and kills him because he wants to take over the throne. So while they're on the run, they run into Hayden Christensen, who helps them and is trying to get them away from the guards so he can actually become emperor and not be murdered by his brother. Mm-hmm. And along the way, they meet Nicolas Cage, who is now an outlaw. He's hiding as a bandit in the mountains, and they go to him for help.
And that's like minute 20.
And then there's the final battle. Like that's like the entirety of the movie.
So he's
I
the
just-
white ghost at that
He
point.
in fact is the white
I just
ghost.
want to
But
ask.
they think Hayden Christensen's the white ghost for a while.
I just want to be clear on something. So the cold open of this film is Hayden Christensen murdering a bunch of children.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That probably hinders my argument of my movie, but I just wanted to be
George
clear.
Lucas really sold him short. He was like, we need to wait 7.5 hours before Hayden Christensen kills some children. And whoever directed this movie was like,
Right off the bat.
No,
That's
we need
really-
5 minutes before this happens.
That's crazy that you say that that's how the movie starts, because I saw the leaked cam of the new Bridget Jones movie. It's the same
thing.
damn thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what they say? They're just out of ideas in Hollywood.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Typecasting again.
Okay, let me see what question I want to ask first.
All right.
I'll start out with my standard question this time, because I normally put
Okay.
that at the end, but maybe it might help That
Is
you won't have to re-explain things.
Shit.
My pizza question.
Oh, pizza. Okay, I thought you were the pinata question.
Nope, that's Steve.
That was you. Damn. Well, I just remembered both of these. So who are you asking first?
Do you have an answer?
I
We could
do
always
actually
break
have an
for a
answer.
little time.
I know. I
Okay,
have an answer.
Let's Steve answer.
Steve, if your movie were a pizza, what toppings would it have?
Well, Hayden Christensen, like any good Templar
You're
Knight.
just gonna say him.
No, yeah. It should be a Hayden Christensen. No. Like Hayden Christensen, like any Templar Knight who has been disgraced and is now hiding out in the hills of China. He is addicted to opium. So it'd probably be an opium pizza.
Ooh, that does sound interesting.
That sounds like
The
quite
first-
a ride.
the first time you meet Hayden Christensen after the cold open, he's in a tavern.
And he's wearing the skins of his fallen enemies.
No. Good guess. No,
Bunch
it
of
actually
kids'
keeps
skins.
Yeah.
it keeps cutting to his view, and it's just blurred and there's echoey. He is messed up on opium.
A little POV.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Nice. So
And-
just open.
So that's it.
Literally just
I
opium.
guess at that point you wouldn't be able to taste anything else, so that's
Yeah.
fair enough.
All right. Well, my pizza, and bear with me on this one because it has a little backstory, just like Steve's. The toppings would be
Elijah Wood.
sliced.
The skins of Nicolas Cage just falling in.
Yes. No. Slices of lemon slices, and Tabasco sauce.
This pizza sounds terrible.
And I say that because there's a scene in the movie where Elijah Wood and Nicolas Cage are talking at a bar, and Nick Cage takes the lemon slice from Elijah Wood's water, puts it on a napkin, grabs Tabasco sauce, douses the lemon in it, and then just eats the entire slice in one bite. And
Peel too.
yes, and
or
he just
rind, I guess
he
I
just
should
eats
say.
it, and and he's like, and Elijah Wood's like, what the fuck?
I feel like
Did you just and Nicolas Cage is like, you should try it, and Elijah Wood's like, no, and eventually Elijah Wood does try it, and he's like, oh god, that's you like this? And Nicolas Cage goes, no, and just gets up and leaves.
That sounds like Elijah Wood saw Nicolas Cage do that offset and was like, we have like that scene in Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, the
with
Matthew McConaughey bumping his chest.
Like, I feel like Elijah Wood saw that and was like, no, we have to get this in the film. People need to see.
Probably more likely it was just improv and he just did it.
Yeah.
Also a good point.
Nicolas Cage, because if it would have been the first thing, you'd be like, I never repeat a party trick.
Yeah, so it's a pizza with lemon and Tabasco sauce.
That's
I was gonna
Okay.
shit my pants if you're like they're at the bar and they ordered a pizza. I go, no fucking way.
Oh man,
So both of your movies have two main people.
correct.
If you could replace Nicolas Cage and the other lead actor with a great straight man comedy man duo to make this movie even funnier or better,
Okay.
or just more fucked up, what would you make it?
holy crap.
Well, obviously, I would go with The Rock and Kevin Hart,
Yeah.
and
It's proven.
Yeah, I mean, that's not like a movie they'll make in like 3 years.
it's going to be a remake of The Trust, starring The Rock
I'm
and Kevin
pretty
Hart.
sure that was Central Intelligence.
It might have been either that or Leo DiCaprio and Jonah Hill, because they proved their worth.
That also seems like a movie that will be made.
I'm gonna say this. I don't know if you're gonna know them, Charlie, but I'm gonna hope you do. I'm gonna go with Danny Kaye and Bob Hope, or not
Bob Hope.
Not Bob Hope. It's
Who's
Bing
that?
Crosby.
No.
Danny Kaye and Bing Crosby.
I know Bing Crosby.
Yeah, I don't know who Danny Kaye is.
Danny Kaye and Bing Crosby.
Danny Trejo?
No, they were the team that did the movie White Christmas, and Danny Kaye is just a goofy guy that is tall and lanky and crazy, and Bing Crosby just basically spends his time just been like, calm down, just please stop doing all of the things that you're doing all of the time. And I think that would really benefit this movie because Hayden Christensen is kind of like an unruly child, and Nick Cage is kind of like his older dad who's just disappointed in him. And that's like the kind of the dynamic that Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye had.
It sounds like this Bing Crosby fellow is ripping off a lot of Nick Cage's acting style.
I mean, that's exactly what happened. I mean, I think he went to court.
Good.
I mean, it didn't help. Nick Cage still lost his castle.
Wait, what?
He like went bankrupt and like lost a bunch of property.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
He built like $1 million mausoleum for himself already. For him to be buried in when he's dead.
It makes that BoJack Horseman joke make so much more sense when he's like, and that was his last $10.
He tried to sue his money manager because he went bankrupt, and then when they took him to court, the money manager was like, I kept telling him not to spend money, and he spent money, and now he's bankrupt, and now he's suing me because he says I didn't try to stop him. You should handcuff me.
Oh man, my Nick Cage is just on point today.
Yeah, that was beautiful. I thought he was here. Special guest Nick Cage.
Oh my god.
It's like Face Off all over again.
I wish. Both of you, think about trying to make the argument to me. Why does your movie seem more likely to be something that actually happened in Nicolas Cage's life?
Well, I mean, I feel like I beat out Steve already because mine is in modern times. And
Are you saying that Nicolas Cage is not
Yeah,
eternal?
I was gonna say.
Fair enough. And I mean, just look at Nick Cage now. He's kind of pudgy. I mean, that mustache. You're telling me this dude has never worked for the police, department at all?
I'd assume
and wanted
he's
a bunch
held
of money.
every job position. At
Exactly. I mean, and wanted just some action during his jobs and wanted to liven
is
up
broke.
everything. So, I think the movie just speaks for itself. Eating, lemon covered Tabasco sauce covered in lemon.
That
Wait, no,
shit's
lemon
messed up.
covered in Tabasco sauce.
Well, for me,
Tabasco sauce bottle. Sorry, covered in lemon juice.
okay, so Hayden Christensen says this, but then Nick Cage agrees wholeheartedly and drinks to it. He says, "Man does not know the will of God, and if he pretends to, it ends in blood." And Nicolas Cage says, I'll drink to that, and he drinks. And I just imagine Nicolas Cage has drank a lot to not knowing what God wants of him.
Fair enough.
And that's your argument as to why this happened in Nick Cage's real life?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Really, for that question, you could say almost anything. You're like, believable enough.
Well, the footage of the movie exists, so there you go.
Oh my god, what would be a good episode would be both of you have to watch Face Off, not Face Swap, and we make special edited versions, so one of you has
Only
to
watches?
watch only the John Travolta scenes, and
Jeez.
the other person watches only the Cage scenes, and which one is a more coherent movie by itself.
I would absolutely love to do that.
So it would be a character that then just is like their person, then they go on a surgery table and they just wake back up and they're totally somebody else. And someone
I would
just
actually
chopped
watch
up
both of
gunfights.
them. I wish that movie was filmed that way now.
Yeah, that would be pretty nice.
like special DVD thing.
Okay, this should be a pretty good one for you to give me some good scenes. What was the best Nicolas Cage moment? And then, more importantly, did it have a really good non-Cage reaction to it? So somebody just being like, well, I guess your thing would be the freaking lemon thing. We'd go,
Oh, no,
"What
I've
the
got more."
Yeah, you can give me each a couple if you have them, or one really good one. But if you get what I'm saying with that question.
For mine, at the end of the movie, they're kind of in a standoff. They're trapped in a cave, and the black guard is coming after the boy, and they're retreating further into the cave, and they kill Nicolas Cage's wife, who's a Chinese woman, and he just goes nuts. And he comes out and he's stabbing people with swords. He's got there are several points where he's got 3 swords pinned into him trying to keep him down, and he just shakes them off like a dog and proceeds to kill more people. He's got
Right.
I think at some point before we meet his character, there's been a gash to his eye, and I believe he's blind in one eye. Through the course of this fight, his other eye gets cut, and he is just blind, murdering folks. just destroying them.
Okay.
It's actually pretty graphic because like you can see a pretty good cut through his face.
I thought you were gonna say his eyeball was just
No,
hanging
yeah,
out of his
dangling.
eye.
But
He uses it as a
he's,
weapon.
he's stabbing people in the throat. He's cutting arms off. And there was at least one point where I thought his arm had been cut off. And then he proceeds to pick up another sword and stab another dude.
With that same arm?
With that same arm.
How?
It looked like his arm was cut off, but it was just
gotcha.
like, it was just some
Oh,
blood
I thought you were
spray
saying
on a
I
cut.
thought his arm got cut off and then he picked up a sword. Like,
Oh, like on the ground. A little idle hands.
yeah, exactly. Were there any good freak out like reactions, non-action related?
Let's see. He freaked out pretty. Hayden Christensen gets stabbed in the stomach, and they pretty much have it, probably the blade about an inch or two deep into him, and he's protecting the princess and her younger brother. He sends them off, and he's trying to fight off the guard while they're trying to chase him, and that he gets taken, and that happens. He ends up shaking that off as well and kills a whole bunch of guys. But then he makes it to where they are, which is when they had met up with the outlaws. And he's laying in a cave, getting patched up. They're sewing him up. They're putting they basically have to cut him open and put stuff in there to keep the wound from getting infected. And while Hayden Christensen is groggy and is all messed up from all this, they have to sew him up with just him biting on a branch. And while that's happening, Nicolas Cage, his eyes kind of like scarred shut, just petting a snake. He's like, "Does that hurt? Good." And like makes the snake bite him.
What?
Yeah. Just
Okay.
makes the snake bite him.
That is some Cage shit, though.
That is some
Tyler.
Cage level shit. Well, obviously I mentioned my lemon with Tabasco sauce moment.
Breakfast of Champions.
There was another moment where while they're breaking into the vault, they stop to eat dinner. They food break or
Like
whatever.
midway through the heist.
Yeah, I mean it makes more sense in context because they're
Okay.
doing this huge drill
Do they get
and all this
takeout?
stuff, and then they don't go get it. They already brought it with them.
Oh, okay.
So
I
they
thought you meant like they left. And
No.
No, I was thinking like
Welcome
there was
to
a
Chili's.
delivery guy to the place above.
So they get the food and they're like sitting there eating the food and I mean this was stranger than the lemon and Tabasco sauce. While
you need to continue.
while they're eating this like burger or whatever, Nick Cage just starts making these noises where he's like and Elijah Wood, it's like this wide shot of them sitting at chairs across from one another, and Elijah Wood is just looking at him like, what the fuck is happening?
Just give him the old
And-
Elijah Wood face.
Yeah, he's just like, what? And then eventually Elijah Wood's like, is something wrong? Like, what? Are you okay? And Nick Cage goes, they changed the recipe. I approve. And just keeps eating.
The more you talk about this movie, I feel like it's just a really long episode of Wilfred.
I thought that at some points. I was surprised if at the end the camera panned and Nick Cage was just in a dog outfit. I would
show would be
not have
way
been
better.
shocked.
Even better.
if it was Nick Cage.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Playing both.
And so, I mean, that was very, very odd. Those noises he was making made no sense.
all three of the scenes described, I can so vividly see in my head.
Oh, don't forget that in my movie, Nicolas Cage has long, scraggly
Oh,
hair.
yeah, I remember the trailer.
He's got a sweet stash in my movie.
But what about his pubic hair in both of your movies?
Teased.
Arrow.
So it's not like Nerve.
No, it's not. You don't get to see full bush. Which I will swear on my life that I saw full bush.
The
DVD commentary.
No.
That movie won't be released on DVD, so nobody will be able to prove you wrong.
Yeah,
very
the
soon.
worst part is like you saying that makes me want to go confirm or to not. Like I kind of want to go just to see it, just to be like, See, Tyler, it didn't happen. But one, I'm afraid of it actually being there. And two, I'm afraid of actually paying for that.
You're going to buy a digital copy, and you're like, all right, let me scrub through this real quick, and then for some reason it just doesn't have that feature of skipping forward. You have to watch it through.
No, he just like MS Paints some in there. So
I
you
do
guys
my
have told
own
you it was here. Like, it's not even on the same layer.
Yeah, you missed several frames.
Did you just put a piece of tape on the screen that lines up to that shot? No?
There's something on your screen, dude. Yeah, you can't see it. Oh my God, there's Bush right there. Oh, dude, there's still something on your screen right there. Man, this is probably the longest time we're ever going to talk about
Bush?
Bush in a movie that isn't what we're talking about.
I'll have to remember this moment for later on when we talk about Bush a lot in some movie. Maybe a movie about George W. Bush.
Ooh.
Okay.
Wait, what was that movie? W?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, of course, it's a compliment piece. Harold and Kumar escaped from Guantanamo Bay.
That I do like that scene though.
Yeah, that's funny.
Okay, let me get another question. This will be a quick one to sum up, at least if you just give me a quick little burst. Why should your play be the one that's adapted to Broadway?
Ooh.
I mean,
You can give me non-funny reasons too. I mean,
because it'd be easy to. There aren't like a whole lot of set pieces. Like a lot of the set pieces are built like inside of buildings or things of that nature, and a lot of the movie is just Elijah Wood and Nick Cage, so it's a lot two characters. So I think
no set, even just two stools out there.
exactly. So I think
The old
that,
two-man show.
yeah, it actually could do. It actually would be interesting to see on
The Cage-ina monologues.
Yeah, exactly. That's what the subtitle would be: the Trust, the Cage-ina monologues.
Yeah.
Colon.
Elijah Wood.
That's just colon.
I was gonna say
dangling colon.
colon
Oh,
Elijah
gross.
Wood, and Wood would be in all caps.
Okay. Well, mine would make a good stage production because you could actually do a lot of things where some of the scenes spill out into the audience. There's a scene where a girl is being kidnapped. While the guards are looking for them, they come across a town that is being just destroyed, burned to the ground, just in case that they're there. And one of the guards is kidnapping a young girl to kill her or do I don't know what with. But the young prince pulls out his bow, knocks an arrow and tries to fire, just completely misses. And he's just getting further and further away. And Hayden
And in the
Sacrifice
stage
one
play,
audience
yeah, I was
member
gonna
is
say
dead.
the stage
No.
play goes
And
into
Hayden
the audience.
Christensen goes out, just slowly picks up the kid's bow, and just shoots just a long shot and just takes the guy out. Like it's one of those arrows with hang time. Like
Yeah.
you could get someone out in
Hang
the
time,
audience.
dude.
Kinda blots out part of the song.
Yeah. And that's when the kid decides that he wants to be trained as a warrior by him because his dad never wanted him to be a warrior. He wanted him to be smart, book smart, grooming him to be emperor.
Yeah.
But the kid wants to avenge his father. He wants to kill his brother for killing his dad. So he wants to be trained. And that's how that kind of starts that whole thing. And there are a few other scenes where you could do the scenes where they're in a cave being attacked by the guard, and you could actually do that with them coming up the aisles and really make it a big experience for the entire audience.
So it'd be a regular Cats the musical.
More of a Lion King.
Mm-hmm.
Because he just can't wait to be king.
I gotcha. Do they go into the audience in Lion King?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I don't think they do, but they do in Cats. That's
they?
why I made my reference.
I don't see a lot of plays from
Yeah,
the early
clearly.
2000s. Wait, no, Cats is like mid-90s.
This guy.
Bush joke.
Bush.
Oh, good. We've circled back.
We always will.
Okay, so I guess that if you guys have any so Steve's notes and Tyler's mental notes, any last second blurbs or whatever.
Is that all the questions you have?
Yeah, all the ones I can think of right now. I might have another one depending on what I hear
Okay.
here and there. But just like favorite parts that stood out. Cool parts too. That doesn't always have to be funny. It just be cool
There's
shit, too.
this part that I specifically wrote down because I always forget the good stuff. I have one written down because I know Charlie will appreciate it.
I was actually pretty shocked about the turn that this movie made, in a good way. Like it took some chances, took some risks.
Hired Nick Cage.
Yeah, tired Nick Cage. I think that Elijah Wood and Nick Cage, played off one another really well. It was an interesting dynamic. I mean, it's hard to say a lot about the movie without giving stuff away. I told you there are plenty of crazy Nick Cage moments. That's kind of his character in any movie, but in this one especially. And Elijah Wood does a really good job of playing a pothead, not degenerate, just kind of like a carefree guy for the most part. You know what I mean? Like he does that really well, and he does that in this movie. And it's I don't like I said, I don't want to give too much away without giving my final thoughts. But yeah, just I would recommend you to pick my movie.
For me,
He never says that.
Hayden Christensen actually had a lot of really cool choreographed fight scenes in this movie. When you first meet him, he's completely strung out on opium, and the blackguard catch up to.
You're saying when the director first met him?
Yes.
He was okay.
Yeah.
That Star Wars money, baby.
The blackguard catches up to the princess and the prince, and he defends them. He comes to their aid, and he's fighting, and they think they get him down. He picks up a spear, snaps a spear out of someone's hand, uses it to kill a bunch of guys.
Nice.
The one guy takes the kid hostage and is like, "Hey, I'm going to kill him if you keep going." He's like, "I don't care about the kid. Just give me my sword back." He's like, "So if I give you the sword back, you're just going to leave?" He's like, "Yeah." So he takes the sword away from the kid's throat, and he just takes a spear and pins the dude's head to a column.
His head?
Yeah, he throws a spear so hard it hits him in the
shit.
face, and he's locked against a support beam.
For a second, I thought you meant it took his head off.
No.
With, the force.
Nope.
That's still amazing, though.
It was that was the first true violent
Hard
scene.
on you got? Oh.
No, violent.
All
there
the
was
others were
some
just chubs.
there was some violence in the beginning, but it was all kind of glossed over. That was the first time where it kind of just kept the camera on it.
I'd imagine it's rated R.
No, actually, I believe it was unrated.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think The Trust is rated R.
After that, the scene they sneak into this town with a trade caravan, and the woman who's in charge of the trade caravan betrays them. She drugs Hayden Christensen to try and get it so that the kid's going to be kidnapped.
That sounds like it just gives him more power at this point.
Yeah, it really does, because he proceeds to beat the crap out of everyone, light a few dudes on fire. The girl's like, "Do you know how much there were?" Before she can get the words out, he clocks her in the face.
That's an equal opportunity movie.
Yeah. And then proceeds to fight a bunch of dudes, and that's when he gets stabbed in the gut.
Okay.
Then at the end of the movie, he fights Shing. Yeah, Shing.
Liu Kang.
I thought you were going to say he fought the knight Shang, and it was
No,
at
he
noon.
stop it. He fights Shing, who is the older son, the one who killed his father, and that fight scene it didn't have the gravitas that the Hector Achilles fight had in Troy.
Yeah.
But it was very similar. The only
Much
reason,
lower stakes.
Well, the only reason it wasn't as good is because Troy had that wall where everybody was it had the entire army.
Yeah.
And Brad Pitt.
Where this one was more of like a fight club. All of the Chinese warriors kind of were pinned in on him, and they were fighting.
Did they pace around each other a few times first?
They did pace around each other, except the main difference is that unlike in Troy, when the bad guy started to win to get the upper hand, the soldiers intervened. They shot him a couple times with arrows to try and give him an advantage until the general said, the next person who shoots an arrow dies. This is a man.
Yeah.
This is a fight of honor. And I mean, the fight goes on for a good long while, and it's pretty well choreographed.
I want to point out that I was looking at the rating of my movie, The Trust, and I saw why it was rated R, and it reminded me of a scene that I completely forgot about. That's at the very beginning of the film when we're introduced to Elijah Wood's
so what
character.
You saw
what I saw
8 days
over the
ago.
weekend, yes. And it's Elijah Wood. It's a shot of his upper body, and he is not his bush, Charlie, no. And he's clearly in the middle of having.
Talking.
He's clearly in the middle of having sex. He's laying on the bed. There's obviously a girl on top of him, and his face is just completely blank. He's just not even moving. And then it cuts to the girl on top of him, and she's topless or whatever, and there's a mole underneath her left boob.
Is that just what he's staring at?
Yes. And the camera, like, there's a close-up shot of this mole.
An homage to Goldmember?
And
I
does
guess
he get
so,
a check?
yeah.
Does she get checked out? Is it melanoma?
We never find out. That's
Oh
a
my
thread
God.
that is never, tied. So we don't know. Yeah. But yeah,
Someone needs to call the director.
I agree.
That'd be funny if somebody actually contacted that actress. Was like, you should have that checked.
That
Yeah, I
is
wonder, now
not
that I think
natural.
about it, were they like, when they did the casting, they were like looking for, fit young woman with mole under left boob.
They probably just added it in makeup.
Nah.
I don't know. That was it was pretty believable looking. It was pretty close up. Like when I say a close up,
Everybody has it, but like just talking about it makes it seem so gross. So just the camera just like,
I'll have to
4K.
show you guys later.
Wait, so you have access? Never mind.
To the movie, yes.
Okay.
But yeah,
this lady doesn't have headshots. She just has mole shots.
that's how she got the role. But
Open glitter jacket.
yeah, I
just like
guess
this.
that's our final thoughts or whatever. Not our real thoughts, but our final thoughts on the film.
Yeah, that pretty much sums up everything that happened in my movie.
Yeah, it's hard to say a lot without spoiling it. So yeah.
I'm torn, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
So, with Tyler's movie and with Steve's movie, both of you guys' movies sound funny, but for different reasons. Tyler sounds funny because it sounds wacky as fuck and intentionally funny, but
Yes.
Steve's also sounds funny in that way that, like, crazy violent movies are funny, and
The only
like watching
thing-
dude get owned in the head with a spear.
The only
always
thing that
brings me
separated
joy,
it
unless
from-
it's real footage. 'Cause,
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was, if they had added in like 3 times the blood, it would have been Tarantino-esque.
Jeez, that's a lot of blood still.
Yeah, 3 times.
And then, as far as story-wise, Tyler sounds like a solid standard movie, but the characters sound interesting. The characters still sound interesting for Steve's, but there sounds like so much is going on in there. It sounds like a sci-fi movie, but with like Nick Cage in it, which isn't a bad thing.
Yeah, Jupiter Rising with Nick Cage.
Oh Jesus Christ! That sounds like a
Jupiter
bad
Rising?
thing. Jupiter. Wait,
Jupiter Ascending, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. I mixed that
Thought they were
with
making
Mercury.
a sequel.
I mixed that with Mercury Rising, the Bruce Willis film about
Fifth Element.
No. Mercury Rising.
Looper.
Big Trouble in Little China.
That's somebody else. Jesus Christ, you people. But for real, we should watch Fifth Element.
Escape from Atlanta.
Escape from L.A.
Disney's The Kid.
Oh boy. Wait, are you talking about Cat in the Hat?
we have gone way off mark here.
That movie has a ton of bush in it.
It really does.
It's grown over his entire body.
Real bushy. So
Anyway.
you gotta make a choice, Chuck. You gotta make a choice.
Would it be doable to do a tie for this or no?
I don't know. They're too different.
I feel as much as I would be okay with it. I feel like if we keep tying, people are just gonna be like,
No,
they
I
just
get
keep
that.
tying.
Yeah, and at least with the Medea cast, like those movies were very similar.
Yeah,
Yes. The only difference being that rape joke.
the tone of the rape.
We all are laughing.
Mine was considerably more serious.
And Medea's was seriously funny.
I mean, do you have more questions that'll help narrow it down for you?
No, because I am pretty split on it.
Well, I was gonna say I could quote Ethan Suplee, whatever his name is, his character's lines in my movie by saying we can flip for it, and he proceeds to put one bullet into the chamber of his revolver and spins it and puts it to his own head. Pulls the trigger, nothing happens. Then he puts it to Elijah Wood's head, and Elijah Wood's like, "What the fuck?" And he pulls the trigger, and nothing happens.
Makes sense, probably.
How would you feel about a Nicolas Cage archery training montage?
I mean, both of those things sound good.
Well, it turned out that it was a trick because Ethan Suplee didn't put the bullet into the chamber. It just looked like he did. Because then after
mine was a real Nicolas Cage archery training montage.
The bullet thing, that I would be like, dude, that doesn't make sense probability wise. Each time you pull the trigger, your odds are increasing. I would feel real shitty if I was the third person to go.
True. But yeah, he said that line twice, and he did that trick twice. So, repetition.
And like Tyler's movie, it seems like the movie I would be more likely to go to theaters to watch. But if I missed it in theaters, I'd be like, fuck it. And then Steve seems one that I'd be more likely to seek out on Netflix. I don't think it was in theaters, but...
Yeah, it wasn't. Oh, wait, no, it was. It was limited. Both were limited in theaters.
You'll have to cut out some of the dead space. I'm sorry, but I'm struggling.
No, he'll just cut in footage from the game Dead Space.
Yeah. I mean, if you suggested the one person gets one tie, would you really want to use your one tie right away?
I just feel like we can't just keep tying.
Yeah, I agree.
Like we're too close to the last tie.
I agree with that. I mean, at the end of the day, neither of us get anything for winning.
Except glory.
That's true. I was trying to make him think that I didn't want to win, so that he'd give it to me.
Dude, I don't care about winning at all. Dude, screw this.
The only time I really cared was the fact that I feel like I was robbed from
Surf Ninjas.
Yeah.
I won that
There's
fair
only
and
one
square.
person's fault for that.
Yeah,
though,
Steve.
Rob Schneider.
No, you missing. If you would have thrown in that stairwell thing at the end, that might have been enough to push it over the edge. Because that shit was funny, dude.
That's why I made sure to mention that girl getting stuck in the face.
Ooh.
It was a girl?
Yeah.
That's a whole... I might have to give it a Steve.
No, yeah. A girl is in charge of this...
That makes me sound like such a piece of shit.
It does.
But just like, you don't see that though.
No, you don't. You don't.
The only movie I've seen a chick impaled in the head was
she wasn't impaled in
Wax Museum.
She wasn't.
Paris Hilton.
So no,
Yeah.
wait. On
very suggestive.
She wasn't. She wasn't hit in the head with a spear. He just punched her in it really hard in the face.
Oh,
fuck.
that one. I thought you were talking about the spear.
Sorry.
one.
No, I just wanted it to be fair. I didn't want to win on a girl getting stabbed in the face. If it didn't happen.
Okay. I'll still go with Steve though, then, for being
All right,
honest
Steve.
about it at least.
Steve wins. I mean, I didn't lie about anything.
No, I'm saying, but if he would have taken the win, then afterwards be like, psych, I actually
Yeah.
did this.
There's a
I'm
difference between-
recanting that.
There's
win.
a difference between me stretching like how good things are and things like that, and me just outright lying. Like in this movie,
So-
Nicolas Cage had a UFO.
Well, so what are your real thoughts about the movie, Steve?
It wasn't bad. It was just.
It sounds like sci-fi good to me.
It was kind of
Like the channel sci-fi is what you're talking about.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is what I'm talking about.
I'm just clarifying.
the only
Oh,
real
yeah.
problem with this movie is
SY.
the only real problem with this movie is it didn't lean in hard enough to the ridiculous.
Oh, that's
Like-
disappointing.
I got you.
Like it took itself too seriously, but it was still enjoyable. But like the scenes where it was ridiculous could have been more over the top. Except for the couple fight scenes where they were literally just pin cushions and just fighting on.
That's the shit I like.
That's the shit.
Nicolas Cage's like old angry British man accent was.
You didn't tell me it was
Yeah,
British.
I was gonna say that.
He was a Templar Knight. Where else would he
It's
been
Nicolas
from?
Cage.
He could still be a full-blooded American Templar Knight.
I mean, the movie Spy stars Jason Statham as a American CIA agent with Jason Statham's normal accent.
I was born and raised in America.
I'm from the Bronx.
I'm a special agent.
So do you regret watching it or no?
No, I thought it was fine. It was a little slow. It was a little bland. This
is disappointing.
they kind of half-assed this relationship building between the young prince and him as he was trying to like teach him how to become a warrior. The movie was too short. I feel like that happens a lot nowadays in things like movies are cut down to be like a quick punchy movie, but they sacrifice any kind of actual character building despite them jamming more and more characters into the movies.
Gotcha. Okay, now Tyler, did I make the wrong choice?
I mean, yes, you did, because The Trust was not that bad. It was all right. I'm
gonna be completely honest. I throughout the entire podcast, I had to catch myself from being like, no, but I really want to watch this movie.
It had some weird pacing problems at the beginning, and I kind of didn't really know what was going on for a bit.
Is that because you just stopped watching?
I understood that Nick Cage, found that guy's, bail ticket, and he was like, but then there was just some stuff that didn't make sense. Oh, and some shit. This is gonna be like a Steve moment. I forgot about this. Nick Cage, decides he's like, okay, well, Elijah Wood, you follow him and figure out what he does. And Elijah Wood's like, finds out that he's just a waiter. He just works he's a waiter for some like fancy hotel or something like that. And so Nick Cage uses vacation days to go undercover as a waiter and works with this dude for, weeks. And there's a moment where he's like, all right, Elijah Wood, we're going to go. I'm going to show you everything that I found out. And Elijah Wood gets in the car and he sees a envelope full of cash. And Elijah Wood's like, what the hell is this? And Nick Cage goes, my tips. like in a very duh. It's like, they're my tips. And Elijah Wood's like, what the fuck?
That sounds pretty good.
They made Nick Cage was very crazy all the movie, and Elijah Wood was.
You didn't mention that laugh scene.
The one where he's like, you know the drill.
Is it because he's drilling?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
And there's there's a lot of stuff there's a lot of stuff that I really don't want to spoil some stuff at the fact that you might actually watch it someday.
So are these movies worth watching clips of on YouTube or worth actually sitting down if I have a rainy day and watching the whole thing?
The Trust's only an hour and a half long. I'd say just knock it out and watch it.
Seriously, like the way I view this movie is it sounds a lot like kind of like a Matchstick Men type thing, but with Elijah Wood instead of Sam Rockwell, and I'm totally down for that.
Yeah, no, and the actors didn't do bad. There are pretty good performances for the most part. Elijah Wood is always good. Nick Cage was Nick Cage. He's a good actor. He just does shit roles a lot of the times. And but he was a toned down Nick Cage, but still like a weird guy who was doing this stuff. And it wasn't all that bad.
Okay, so neither like ringing endorsements for either of these movies.
I feel like, I feel like that's exactly where these movies are. Like, that's
what happened with these movies. Much worse. It sounds like for both of them.
Yeah. And if we're looking at tomato scores, neither of them have very many reviews.
You're gonna say ratings at all?
Well, yeah. The Outcast only has 18 reviews, with an average score of 3.1 out of 10.
Oh, they're gonna say 3%.
It sits at 6%, with one fresh review out of the 18 reviews. And that review, if I can find it, give me.
I directed this movie.
I can see that. Like, the movie, it was one of those movies that's like, I'm not mad that I sat through it. I just don't ever see myself care. Like, if someone's like, "Hey, you want to watch Outcast?" Like, not again. Like, I just don't care enough to do it again.
Well, the positive review is, with its wackily propulsive blend of furious action, cheesy dialogue, and deliciously unhinged overacting, Outcast is so bad it's good B-movie perfectly primed for a drunken Saturday night.
See, that's what I was thinking when I gave it the win. Like, this movie sounds fun to watch, like, with friends. Get wasted and be like, oh, shit.
The fight scenes are over the top and ridiculous when they happen. There's just
wire work?
What?
Any wire work?
No. But this
is like the perfect movie for it. They probably didn't have the money for real.
Probably. Well, keep going, because I forgot. There's like this when they're in the cave. I forgot to say this in my real thoughts. When they're in the cave, they had made a bunch of bombs, and they just refused to use them until the enemy is in the cave with them.
Yes.
They're like, let's go strike them on the mountain.
They're good close proximity weapons.
Yeah, they're on this mountain, and they're on the side of this mountain, and they throw torches down to create smoke screens so that they can't really see them. So as they come out of the smoke, they're just getting picked off by arrows. And I'm like, why are we not throwing bombs at them? And then like they retreat up the hill some, and we're still not throwing bombs. And then they're inside a cave with them, and they're like, get the bombs! And I was like, why now?
Sometimes you gotta learn the hard way.
Here's a review. Rotten review. The movie's only attribute is that it's so bad it might benefit from a Mystery Science Theater 3000 style dubbing.
Mm-hmm.
This is still for Outcast?
Yes, that's for Outcast.
I mean, I would agree with that.
And then there's the film may be best remembered for co-star Nicolas Cage's Warrior Coif, perhaps his most unflattering movie hairdo yet, and that's saying a lot.
It was not good.
Okay.
And let's go over to The Trust, which had 35 reviews, so a little bit more, almost double, I guess. And the average rating on The Trust is 5.5 out of 10, with a tomato meter score of 57%.
Snap.
And there's actually more fresh reviews there's 20 fresh reviews and 15 rotten, so it's interesting that it
No, seriously, I was like, you would say something, and I'd be like, man, I do like do you still have this movie? Because I really want to watch it. And I was like, that would destroy my argument.
The answer is yes, I still do have it. Positive review is Wood and Cage have a terrific dynamic together. That's it. That's all they got to say.
Wood and Cage.
Elijah Wood
Yeah.
and Nicolas Cage. A wooden cage. Is that what you were thinking?
Yes.
The subversive rearranging of genre cliches features a pair of amusing performances and a quirky vibe to overcome its pedestrian plotting.
That sounds almost fake.
Anytime anyone
dude, it's written by Todd Jorgensen.
Anytime
not a robot Jorgensen.
Anytime anyone
Todd,
uses
totally
the
not a
phrase
fake last name
pedestrian
Jorgensen.
in a movie review, it just is like, oh, just shut up. Just shut up.
Anytime what?
Anytime they use the word pedestrian in
yeah.
a review, like, shut up, man.
This is rough. This is a rotten review, and this is how it starts out. There are fetuses that would be more convincing in the role of a jaded lawman than Elijah Wood. You can you can festoon. I've never read that word before.
What is it, like F-E-S-T-U-M-E?
F-E-S-T-O.
2 O's.
Yeah.
You can festoon him with hookers and drug paraphernalia. He still looks like a newly hatched baby bird.
So this dude's just shitting on Elijah Wood's
Yeah.
look.
Yes.
Man, he looks like a 12-year-old, so that means he can't ever be a human being. Shut up, dude.
Well, yeah, dude.
It says The Trust is so. This is another one. The Trust is a so-so heist movie whose dirty cop character's personality must have been described in the screenplay as Nicolas Cage-esque. Fortunately, Cage was available, and I actually meant to say that as a joke that the screenplay must have said when it was describing this character just said Nicolas Cage. And this character played by Nicolas Cage, that was in the script.
Like, I'm not writing out all of his characteristics.
Because there's so much stuff where you're like, they didn't ask anybody else. they were just hoping against hope. And they got him,
Dude, I would pay a lot of money to see a reshoot of it with a fetus. And Cage acting to him. The fetus clearly can't read the lines back, but Cage has to react as if he did.
Cage needs the money, like we were saying earlier. Some of the quirkier touches feel a little forced, but more often than not, there's a winning sense of oddball charm. That's a positive review. But those are the reviews of those two movies. I'm kind of done with those. Do we do anything else? Am I forgetting something with the reviews of the movies?
I don't believe so.
That's about it.
I think you pretty much covered it.
Who's next? I guess I'll be next, and who else?
I guess I will be
Tyler,
judging.
Tyler picks.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be doing that
Okay.
next week. You guys will you'll both have to see Suicide Squad.
And I'll
I'm way ahead of you.
No,
Make
we'll
a
talk
more
about
convincing argument than Steve.
we'll talk about our thoughts on Suicide Squad next week because we all three saw it. Not together, unfortunately, because
Yeah.
Charlie doesn't actually like us.
Yeah, but no, weren't you in Texas? With...
Yeah, he
Yes.
flew very far away to make sure he couldn't see it with
Yeah.
us.
Just did not see it. I just stood in the airport during
We might
the
just,
show.
I mean, while I'm thinking about him, we might as well plug him if it's still happening. Is Joe still doing his movie reviews?
he does them on and off.
Okay,
I don't even remember the name of the website.
LaFlow reviews.
I
I don't know the
Blogspot?
actual.
There's a link on the LaFlowXXX.gov website.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah. I got you. You have to click on that banner, and
Yeah.
it'll link you to
Not the other one though, because you load it and then the page will shift a little bit, and
Yeah,
it's a
I
whole
gotcha, I
mess.
gotcha.
Tricky ad, man.
9 Lives is out though, so we might
Ooh.
somebody might have to be seeing that. Wow, way to go, Steve! Steve is throwing the table.
I
around.
didn't. That's. I'm so angry I won. Table flipping for that.
Other than that, I don't really have much to add except Steve forgot to mention the YouTube channel last episode.
Ooh, that is totally on me.
Even though it's not, I ended that
Yes!
episode before. But yeah, there's a 3 Wise Media YouTube channel where you can listen to the podcasts there. So there's the Movie Versus podcast and the 3 Wise Guys podcast, as well as some other videos like the Better Know a Hero series that I've been doing.
Yes.
And I'm sure there's going to be more stuff on there in the future. So go check that out.
Hopefully, some footage of
And
us
since
recording
this
at
is a
some
real
point.
episode, I get to actually thank Jeremy Lamb for our.
For our theme
For our
song.
theme
You're right. And yeah,
Joke's
yeah.
on you. He's not putting it in
Hopefully-
this episode.
Oh, again.
Hopefully we'll be able to we might start putting stuff on the YouTube channel like our filming our reactions to the trailers that we watch in the prequel episodes. We might start doing that.
So if
putting
you
that
just
on
ever wanted to
YouTube.
see my jaw
be good.
dropped,
Oh yeah, I mean it's kind of weird because once we turn on the trailers, his jaw just hits the floor like all the bodies that hit the floor.
Thank you.
A real
Thank you, Drowning
pool.
Yeah. So yeah, you should check that out. We're probably going to be adding stuff to that. Facebook page, as always, 3 Wise. Wait, no, we're not 3 Wise. We're Movie Versus.
Part of 3 Wise.
Part of 3 Wise. So thank you to 3 Wise
Bebo,
Media
Friendster.
Network. Yeah, on Bebo and Friendster. Yeah.
Write us letters.
LinkedIn.
Send us
Twitter
pictures of
and
you with your
Instagram for
perfume.
actual places.
Yeah, Twitter and Instagram at Movie Versus Podcast on those things. I mean, other than that, I got nothing else to say. So
Hope you enjoyed and see you next time.
yeah, bye.
3 Wise Radio!